Hello and welcome to the Antiquarian Outlook for Week 10 of 2025, starting March 3rd. I'm Spencer W. Stuart, Collections Advisor, author of Contemporary Issues and Rare Books and Manuscript Collecting, and host of the monthly webinar Collecting Insights. For more details on my services, publication, and programs, follow the links below. The Antiquarian Outlook is totally independent. Its producers do not hold inventory, nor do they represent any consignments or acquisitions mentioned. Links to auctions and news items can also be found below in the descriptions, but for now, let's get into last week's results. Starting with Tuesday, ALDE had a sale, Ancient Books of the 15th to 19th Century. There were 237 lots offered, of which 178 sold, making for a 75% sell-through rate. Total sales raised were €407,000 of a potential €200,000 to €255,000. The sale itself featured quite a few books from the collection of classical philologist Jean Irigoyen. The highest result on the day was for Lot 5, Aristophanes, printed in 1498. Estimates started at €6,000 to €8,000, and it realized €23,750. A buy-in of note from this sale was this early print book from 1523, estimate set at €4,000 to €5,000. As you can glean from the total sales of this auction, a number of lots exceeded expectation. Foremost among them, Lot 43, which estimates started at €3,000 to €4,000, ultimately reaching €12,500. On to Wednesday. Dominic Winter Book Auctions had printed books, maps, and documents, travel exploration, and natural history. There were 497 lots offered, of which 432 sold, making for an 86.9% sell-through rate. Funds raised on the day were £296,000 of a potential $139,000 to $212,000. The highest amount realized from the sale was Lot 391, an almost complete run of the Gentleman's Magazine. Estimates started at £4,000 to £6,000, ultimately realizing £7,930. A past lot of note was Lot 299, John Parker Lawson's 30 Views from Scotland delineated in a series of views by Turner and others, published in 1854. Estimates started for this lot at £2,000 to £3,000. A lot that exceeded expectations on the day was Lot 352, a set of Persian playing cards from the 19th century. Estimates for this lot started at £200 to £300, reaching £7,584. Still with Wednesday, Ader had a sale, Illuminations, Ancient and Modern Books. There were 161 lots offered with this sale, of which 119 sold, making for a 73.9% sell-through rate. The highest price on the day was Lot 157, a copy of Oscar Wilde's De Conte, bound by Schmier in 1926. It was an limited edition run of 162 numbered copies on woven paper, of which this was number 138. Estimates started between 15,000 to 20,000, reaching 19,000 on the day. A past lot of note was Lot 14, a manuscript Bible executed between 1250 and 1275. Estimates started at 80 to 90,000 euros. A lot that exceeded expectation was 23, Hermit distributing rosaries to elegant couples. A 19th or early 20th century gouache attributed to a Spanish forager. Estimates were 600 to 800 euros, reaching 2,500 euros. Thursday was busy. Starting with forum auctions, they had their online sale, Books and Works on Paper. 294 lots were offered through the sale, of which 280 sold, making for a 95.2% sell-through rate. The highest result was for Lot 240, Reverend Charles Butler's The Feminine Monarch, printed in 1609. Estimates were set at £2,000 to £3,000, realizing £7,500. There were not a lot of past lots in the sale, but one that caught the eye was Lot 219, a first edition Salvador Dali from 1935, estimates set at £150 to £200. The story of this auction were the group lots with low estimates in the hundreds. Many exceeded expectation. Here were a couple that stuck out. Lot 22, the works of Publius. Lot 34, the works of Homer. And Lot 51, an assemblage of works of James Joyce. Still with Thursday, in the United States on the West Coast, PBA Galleries had a sale, Fine Photography Books and Images. There were 366 items offered, of which 258 sold, making for a 70.4% sell-through rate. The highest result was for Lot 176, a collection of books as well as manuscript letters and prints by Rockwell Kent. Estimates started at $12,000 to $18,000 US, reaching $7,500 US. A surprise from this sale was the active bidding for foredge painting lots, of which you can see here, Lot 171, 172, and 173, all starting their bidding in the mid-500s and reaching, in many cases, above $1,000 US. Still with Thursday, however, in France, Tajan had a sale, of which there were 125 lots offered, of which 77 sold, making for a 61% sell-through rate. The highest price realized was for Lot 26, Napoleon Bonaparte's personal copy of the Civil Code of France, printed in 1804. The estimate started at 100,000 to 200,000, reaching 395,000 euros. A buy-in of note was this manuscript treatise on practical geometry, executed in 1693. Estimates were at 8,000 to 12,000 euros. Within the books offered at the sale, not a lot exceeded expectation, with the exception of the previous lot mentioned. In Chicago, still on Thursday, Potter & Potter Auctions had its Punks, Monsters, Smut, and Madmen, a countercultural cross-section. There were 470 lots offered with the sale, of which 467 sold, making for a 99.3% sell-through rate. The highest price realized was for S. Clay Wilson's original ink and paper sketch for Gems and Junk. The estimates were set between $5,000 to $10,000 US, realizing $6,600 US. Lot 477 was one of a number of lots that started low and clearly had a lot of enthusiasm of a niche group of bidders. In this case, estimates started at $300 to $500 US, ultimately reaching $2,160 US. And finally, Thompson Riddick Auctioneers had lots of antiquarian and collectible books, prints, and related items. There were 241 lots offered, of which 215 sold, making for an 89% sell-through rate. The highest price realized was for Lot 50, a second edition of Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations. Estimates started at £4,000 to £6,000, realizing £8,000. A buy-in of note was Lot 80, John Calvin's The Institution of Christian Religion. Estimates started at £1,500 to £2,000. Looking to week 11, these are a few auctions that we have our eye on. Monday, Vermot and Associates are having a sale, Ancient and Modern Books, sale number 162656. Tuesday, Gonnelli in Florence is having a sale of books, autographs, and manuscripts. Please make note that there are actually 5 sessions to this sale, and it will ultimately close on the Thursday. New England Book Auctions will be having a sale of fine books and ephemera. Wednesday, University Archives will have rare autographs, manuscripts, and books. RR Auction, sale 713, fine autographs and artifacts will happen. And lastly, on Wednesday, International Autograph Auctions will have sale 31225. This will also take place over 2 days. Thursday, Forum Auctions will have an online sale, travel books, maps, and atlases. And finally, Friday, Giquello will have a sale of ancient and modern books. News from the week: Kelly Wisecup will be delivering the 2025 Rosenbach Lecture in Philadelphia over 3 days, entitled Indigenous Ecologies of the Page, Bibliography, Birch Bark, and Remediation. Starting March 12th, the Huntington will have an exhibition featuring the reuniting of a rare 15th century print with the Gutenberg Bible. On to fairs. We're about a month away from the ABAA New York Book Fair, which will start Thursday, April 3rd, and finish off on Sunday, April 6th. And on that same weekend, the Manhattan Fine Press Book Fair will be taking place on Saturday, April 5th. Placement collections of note. Mariana Villa Gilbert's literary papers were acquired by the University of Exeter's Special Collections. Also in the news, the David Ruggles Prize has just announced that it's accepting applications for the 2025 awards. And finally, registration is open for next month's Collecting Insights webinar series. Through these hour-long sessions, participants will examine case studies relevant to acquiring as well as deaccessioning collections. As with previous sessions, each offering will be attended by private collectors, professional librarians and curators, as well as booksellers and auctioneers. All registrants will receive a complimentary copy of contemporary issues in rare books and manuscript collecting with their registration. For more information, please go into the description below, and we look forward to receiving your registration. That's been the week from here. What did you think of last week's results? Any lots that you had your eye on? Any events upcoming that you're excited about? Please make sure to put some comments below. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to stay in touch, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. All for now. See you next week.